Hello YouTube, Dylan the Shaddol Duelist here, back with another exciting duel replay video for you guys. Now, today I am bringing to you a very interesting TCG deck. You guys obviously know of the hat format, where you had hands, artifacts, and Traptrix all in one deck. That was a very potent stun deck. Well, obviously, hands aren't as good as they used to be, artifacts are always good thanks to Scythe, and Traptrix are relevant again as an engine due to the release of Traptrix Sera in Battles of Legends Heroes Revenge, which came out of the TCG and introduced Traptrix Sera. Now, I've gone over Traptrix Sera on the channel before. I have told you guys how crazy she is. Now today I am bringing a Shaddoll artifact Traptrix deck, also known as SAT. I know, very weird name, but I mean, if hat could be a thing, then why not SAT? Now, today is a very, very special video because I am actually uploading this video twice. Once on my channel, and I'm actually guest uploading on another YouTuber's channel, which is very, very exciting. That YouTuber is, as you can see here, Master Swag King. Now, guys, be sure to check out, if you're viewing this video on my channel, be sure to check out Master Swag King. I've taken a look at some of his videos. He is a awesome content creator. Definitely check him out. I will leave a link in the description of my I will leave a link in the description down below. And if you are watching this video on Master Swag's channel, hello, I hope you enjoy the content I am bringing you guys today for him. It is an honor for me to be guest uploading on his channel, and I hope to bring you the type of quality content you are used to with him. Now, with all of that out of the way and this longer than usual intro, let's get into the duels. Now, our first duel is going to be our SAT deck versus Cyber Dragons. Now, Cyber Dragons obviously are a huge rogue contender with this deck. And we're going to go first here, and we are admittedly going to open up a little lackluster. We're just going to open up a Shaddoll Hedgehog, a Time-Space Trap Hole, and an Artifact Scythe with 2 Effect Veilers. I definitely do need to cut back on the Shaddolls in this deck, but hey, you live and you learn. This deck is a work in progress, but even as a work in progress, it is still an incredibly potent deck. So, my opponent is going to open up with the Cyber Dragon and a set Infinite Impermanence, and then he's going to normal summon the Cyber Dragon core, and I'm going to negate that with Effect Veiler, so he cannot get that, and he's just going to straight up attack Shaddoll Hedgehog with the Cyber Dragon, allowing me to net a Shaddoll Fusion to my hand. Now, unfortunately, right now, I cannot do much with the Shaddoll Fusion due to the fact that he does not have any extra deck monsters, but I do get another Time-Space Trap Hole. Like I said, this duel did not open too well for me. He is going to try and summon the Cyber Dragon Seeger, which I will just Time-Space Trap Hole because I do not want that kind of power on his board. So he is going to add another core with a Cyber Repair Plant, and I'm going to activate my second Effect Veiler, stopping his effect from activating, and he is just going to poke me for 400 damage. It's not too bad. I will take it. So here we go. We finally open up one of our Traptrix monsters, Traptrix Mantis. Now, if you don't know what Mantis does, she is a monster searcher for the deck. She searches a Traptrix monster, and then she also has an additional effect where you can bounce a spell or trap on the field, and then set a spell and bounce a trap from. No, yeah, you can set a spell and trap from your hand, and then you can set a spell and trap from your hand. So, very interesting interactions here. She is going to get Effect Veilered. I am going to attack over the core, and I am going to summon Sera. Now, clearly my opponent's not too familiar with Sera because he attempts to impermanence her, which completely backfires as Sera none of Sera's effects activate when she's summoned, and she is actually immune to the effects of normal trap cards. And actually, I net a plus with my opponent activating the impermanence, because whenever a normal trap card is activated while Sera's on the field, I get to special summon a Traptrix monster from my deck. So that is going to activate. He is going to Ash Blossom that, so unfortunately I don't exactly get to plus too much off of that. So he is going to summon the Cyber Dragon Nashter, and I will Time Space Trap Hole that, allowing me to activate Sera here, as he does get the Cyber Dragon. I am going to get the Dionaya on the field and use her effect to bring back my Time Space Trap Hole, and then Sera will activate because a Traptrix monster's effect activated. I get to set a normal Trap Hole card from my deck, so I'm going to set the Bottomless Trap Hole. Sorry, guys. So he is, unfortunately, as Cyber Dragons do with Link monsters, or any monsters in the extra monster zone, he is going to link away Sera. He's going to be able to remove Sera from the field with the Mega Fleet Dragon and attack into Dionaya, which, you know, unfortunately is not the best for me, but it does allow me to get the Shaddoll Fusion on the field. Activate the Shaddoll Fusion, allowing me to fuse from my deck. So I will send, as you can see, Shaddoll Beast and an Effect Veiler from my deck in order to get El Shaddoll Construct. So glad she's back at 1. Let's hope she goes up to 2 or 3 during the next ban list. So I will activate Beast's effect to draw 1 card, and then I will send El Shaddoll Fusion to the graveyard with Construct's effect, and then I will set the second Bottomless that I drew off of Beast's effect. So he is going to do his Nashter stuff. I will get rid of his Cyber Dragon with Bottomless Trap Hole, but he is going to link away, I keep saying that. He is going to remove Construct with a second Mega Fleet Dragon, but I will be able to get the Shaddoll Fusion back to my hand, and I will get rid of the second Mega Fleet with Bottomless. He's going to poke me again for a little bit of damage with the Nashter. I draw the Mantis, add my Dionaya to my hand, because if you open up Mantis, in my opinion, definitely add Dionaya to your hand with her effect, as you're going to link her away into Sera anyway, so next turn you can actually summon her back with Dionaya and go for an Xyz summon, possibly. So I'm going to basically have everything here set up fairly well, although he is going to Kaiju my Sera. I just cannot seem to keep my Sera on the field with against the Cyber Dragon player. So he is going to get his Hurt summon for the Chimera Tech Dragon. I will allow it due to me being able to get Shaddoll Fusion on the field. I'm going to summon Dionaya, bring back the Mantis, go for Sera, activate my Shaddoll Fusion, get my El Shaddoll Shekignaga on the field by sending Glow Up Bulb and Shaddoll Beast to my graveyard, get the draw with Shaddoll Beast, and then I'm going to attack over with Shekignaga, attack with Dionaya and Sera, leaving him 2,500, and set the Molartark that I got through the draw with Beast. So, not the best back row, but you don't really want to draw into your artifacts, but if you're facing against a deck with a lot of back row hate, it can actually help. He is just going to hard draw into an Effect Veiler and scoop from there, because I have, unfortunately, Shek can't do any negations because I don't have a Shaddoll monster in my hand, but next turn I could go for Merm. I have Sera on the field, Dionaya with a set time space. So, you know, a fairly okay board, and again, when he hard draws just an Effect Veiler, there's nothing much he can do. So that's going to be our first duel, very back and forth. Our second duel is going to be an interesting Sky Striker build using Magicians, as you can see. So we open up definitely a lot better this time around. We open up an Ash, and 2 Trap Hole cards. We do open with 2 Shaddolls, which again, definitely need to cut the ratios down on that, but it is what it is. So I'm going to Ash his Spellbook of Judgment, Spellbook of Secrets, which is fine for him because he's just going to get Blue Boy and get Knowledge and then set a Twin Twisters. So I am actually funny enough, going to hard draw the Shaddoll Fusion here, which is allowing me to go into Winda, get Beast and Dragon to activate. So I'm going to destroy his Twin Twisters and hard draw a Shaddoll Fusion. Set my 2 trap holes and attack directly for, poking him. He is unfortunately going to use the Widow Anchor and use Winda to summon Silent Magician, which is quite unfortunate because Winda just happens to be a spellcaster. However, I am going to Floodgate Trap Hole the summon, so not going to be too bad, and we will get the Shaddoll Fusion back. I am unfortunately here going to hard draw the Artifact Scythe, and I'm just going to set the Fusion. He can't do much because, sorry guys, because he cannot flip the Silent Magician back up. So once again, kind of a rough draw here. Have to get, of course, hard draw my Scythe. I am going to draw Mermelio here, add Bottomless, attack into his Silent Magician, go for Sera, and I have a pretty decent back row here. I have 2 trap holes that I can activate and get Sera to pop up with. An Shaddoll Fusion in case I draw a Shaddoll card, and in case he goes for any back row destruction, a Scythe to pop if he does happen to hit it. So there we go. So he is going to get the engage afterburner, going to destroy Sera and Bottomless, and then he's going to here hit the Scythe with the jamming waves, basically locking him out of the rest of his turn for this Sky Striker player. So he's going to summon the Ray, and that's it. I think he probably didn't realize. So I am just going to attack over Ray, or attempt to, as he goes into Hayate, but I will Time Space Trap Hole him. He will summon Ray back, and I will attack over it with Scythe. And as you can see, I have an Effect Veiler here, which I will use on his Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. He is going to Monster Reborn my Mermelio, which will pop my Shaddoll Fusion, and then he will destroy my Scythe with Cerberus. Rough for me, but not too terrible because I do have the Shaddoll Fusion, and I will summon using Beast, as I will mostly for the draw, to summon Construct. I will send Hedgehog to the grave as I draw the Artifact Sanctum. Not bad if I do say so myself. Then I will add the Dragon to my hand with Hedgehog, and then just summon it just so I can get some more damage off. I'm going to destroy the Cerberus with Dragon, and then attack him directly with Construct, leaving him at only 2,000 life points. He is going to activate Knowledge, Reinforcement of the Army to get his Ray, summon the Hornet Drones, which I will, unfortunately, I only run 2 Scythe, so I've gone through them all, so I can only summon Muller-Tark here to destroy his token. But he does have the Ray, goes for the Kagari. As I go for Bottomless to get rid of it, he will be able to bring Ray back, and then go for the Shizuku. Activate the I believe he activated Engage again to get Widow Anchor back, and then he goes for Dark Hole, which works out in my favor as I can add back Shaddoll Fusion, and then Dragon will activate, allowing me to pop my set Scythe once again, locking him out of his extra deck, because as long as the artifacts are destroyed during my opponent's turn, their effects go off. So that is fantastic. He's only going to be able to set the Widow Anchor as I set a Trap Hole and I attempt to finish him, but he will Widow Anchor me, allowing him to survive for one more turn. And he basically draws dead. So I am able to finish him off this turn. And there we go. Not an optimum Sky Striker build, clearly, as he is also running basically a Spellbook Sky Striker mix, which isn't terrible, but is not obviously optimal. So we were able to win that game. And last is this build versus, I honestly, guys, I don't even really know what this deck I was facing was. It was some mixture of Speedroids with, I don't know if it was a Synchro Fusion deck, Synchro Summon deck type of thing, but either way, I will go first. I will get Mantis, get the Dionaya, set my 2 trap cards, which will be Bottomless and Artifact Sanctum, and summon Sera onto the field. Once again, planning for the Dionaya to come back next turn to bring back Mantis. Now, I see Speedroy, Tri-Eye Dice. I automatically think, okay, he's going to try to go for a Synchro Summon, so I am going to activate Sanctum, get Scythe onto the field. Sera will activate, netting me another Mantis, because Mantis, you can activate her effect during either player's turn, as she's a quick effect, allowing me to activate Sera whenever I want. So during the end phase, I will activate Mantis to bounce the Bottomless to set it again, and then I will get the time-space trap hole through Sera. So that is fantastic. I have already, as you can see, a fairly good field here. He does have the infinite impermanent set, but once again, even if that's the case, as you will see, I'm going to summon Smurm, going to get the Floodgate Trap Hole. Sera will activate, getting me another time space, and now this card is so good in this deck. He is another card that has come out in Hero's Revenge, Durgarus the Timeless. He is a generic rank 4 monster that basically acts as a graceful charity, or a monster reborn, or I'm not even sure, a card that doubles your attack for the cost of either skipping your next draw phase, skipping your next main phase, or skipping your next battle phase. Now, in this deck, what's the word I'm looking for? The Graceful Charity effect is actually really good, because you don't really need the extra draws help you more than missing your next draw phase. Plus, if you discard a Shaddoll monster off of his effect, because it's not a cost, it will trigger their effect. So I'm going to attempt to activate the draw 2. However, he is going to impermanence my Dugarus, which is fine because that will obviously activate Sera there, allowing me to get my another Mantis onto the field, and I'm going to attack with Sera, Scythe, Dugarus, and Mantis, netting me some really good advantage here. Like, I have Bottomless, 2 time space, and a Floodgate Trap Hole all set, with the ability to activate Sera, netting me another Trap Hole whenever I want with Mantis, and then, you know, Scythe is a 2200 beat stick at this moment, and Dugarus is kind of useless right now. So he is going to afterburner Sera, and then attempt to summon his heroic challenger, Thousand Blades, which I am just going to end up floodgating. So there's nothing much he can do here. So I'm going to summon the I'm going to summon the Mantis. I'm going to link away the Mantis into Sera, summon Dionaya, and get Mantis back onto the field, once again netting me another Floodgate from Sera, and then I'm going to Xyz into Rafflesia. Now, Rafflesia isn't as important in the deck as she used to be, because Sera is basically, I'm not going to say a better Rafflesia, because they do different things, but what's nice about Rafflesia in this deck is she can protect Sera, because monsters can't be destroyed by battle or card effects except for Rafflesia. And sorry, you can't unaffected by trap cards, well, it has Xyz Meteors. Yeah, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So it basically protects your Sera while she's on the field, plus also allowing you to access any of your trap hole cards from within the deck. But as you can see, I already have access to the most of what I run. So I am going to attempt to get over the Thousand Blades with Durgarus, but he is going to Tri-Eye Dice. That's fine. I'm going to get over it with Scythe and then attack with Sera. He is going to summon his Thousand Blades back. Sorry, guys. He's going to mind control my Rafflesia and then use them to basically go into Phoenix and try and get rid of my Floodgate Trap Hole. I am going to activate Time Space Trap Hole here, which again will obviously activate Sera, netting me a Merm. Now, what's great about Merm is the fact that she is a mandatory effect. Even if my opponent doesn't have any back row on the field, she will attempt to activate, which will allow Sera to activate, netting me yet another Trap Hole. So it's amazing how much advantage you can get off of this one card. So he is going to set a Tri-Eye Dice and a Burial from a Different Dimension. Clearly, not much he can do against me here. I am going to Shaddoll Fusion. At this point, Artifact Scythe has played its role, so I am going to summon into Construct here underneath Sera, get a draw through Beast, and then I'm going to send Dragon to the grave with Construct, allowing me to pop his back row, because I don't know what that is. He is going to bring his Tri-Eyed Dice back to the graveyard, which will net him, protect him for a little bit. So I am going to set, I believe it was the other bottomless in my hand, and then obviously try to round out the game. Unfortunately, I'm not able to because of the combination of Tri-Eyed Dice and Thousand Blades, but at this point, there's not much he can do against me. He is going to attack Sera, unfortunately get Spore onto the field, go into Needle Fiber, but I am going to bottomless it, and at that point, there's not much else he can do. He's going to get his Glow Up Bulb, go for Link Rainbow, which I'm just going to send back to the extra deck. He is going to attempt to activate Glow Up Bulb, which I am going to Ash because it does send a card from the deck to the graveyard. He's going to summon Spore finally as his last-ditch effort. I draw the Artifact Sanctum, set it, destroy Spore with Construct, attempt to attack with Merm. He Tri-Eyed Dices, but I am able to finish the game with Dugaris the Timeless. So that was quite a duel. As you can see, guys, unlike some of the other decks I have showcased before, this is definitely a slower deck, but with the Shaddolls, can add some offensive presence. So let's take a look at the deck list here. We have 3 Traptrix Murmileo. This is a must of 3 in any Traptrix deck. She adds a trap hole card on her normal summon, and when she is special summoned, she pops back row. Again, mandatory effect, so even if your opponent does not have back row, she will attempt to activate, allowing you to plus off of Sera. Traptrix Mantis, again, I feel like in a more pure build such as this, she is a 3 of because she can search your Merm, search your Dionaya, go into Sera with her, and then also activate Sera on your opponent's turn. 2 Dionaya, she is a monster reborn for the archetype, netting you back either your Mantis or your Merm to go into rank 4 plays, or if you have Glow Up Bulb, your level 5 Synchro plays. Versatile card, and also if she special summons, she can bring a trap hole card from your graveyard and set it onto your field, but it is banished at the end phase of your next turn. So I run 2 of her simply because I feel like she is dead at 3. You don't want to see her in your opening hand, as you don't really get any advantage out of that. 2 Beast, 2 Dragon, 1 Hedgehog. I think I'm going to cut it to 1 of each, as you don't really want to see these cards in your hand. 2 Artifact Scythe, 1 Artifact Molotov. Scythe is so good against so many decks. Orcust, Salamangreat. Any deck that uses the extra deck, basically Scythe will lock your opponent out of. Molotov is there as monster removal, plus it's another light target. Glow Up Bulb, you can send to the graveyard with Shaddoll Fusion really easily, and gives you access to Naturia Beast, which is always a nice card, and is basically an insta-win against Sky Strikers. 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Effect Failure. You can definitely swap Effect Failure out for Infinite Impermanence if you have the money for a playset, as Impermanence will trigger Sera, and as Effect Failure won't. But if not, Effect Failure is still great, and of course Ash Blossom, stopping your opponent from searching, is always powerful. 3 Shaddoll Fusions. This card, when Winda is paired with Sera, it's a really, really powerful combination. So, and it also helps going second, as you can get yourself an offensive presence on the board, which Traptrix really struggle with, especially when going second. 2 Shaddoll Fusion for just in case when you hard draw your cards, or you need to quickly fusion summon with a Shaddoll monster you have on the field. 3 Time Space Trap Hole, 3 Bottomless Trap Hole, and 3 Floodgate Trap Hole. Now, you can definitely mess around with the ratios of your Trap Hole cards. I'm personally going to probably take out 2 bottomless and put into Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, see how that works out. All depends on how things are, but right now I think Time Space Trap Hole is one of the best Trap Hole cards to run. Floodgate is decent because you cannot link summon with face down monsters. And finally, to round off our main deck, 3 Artifact Sanctums gets your Artifact Scythe and Mulartark onto the field and triggers Sera. Speaking of Sera, onto our extra deck, 2 El Shaddoll Windows, really good card, is used often in Orcust. I actually tech her, 1 copy of her in my Trickstar build with Instant Fusion. 1 El Shaddoll Construct, you have your 2 Artifact Scythes, your Mulartarks, and your Effect Failures as light targets to summon Construct. Again, these 3 are enough of targets if you don't want to run Veiler and run Impermanence instead. 1 Grista, simply because we have the Ash Blossom. You're never really going to summon him, though. And 1 Shekignaga, because 90% of our monsters are Earth attribute, and Shekignaga is just really nice, able to disrupt your opponent when they try to activate monster effects. 3 Traptrix Sera, easily hands down the best card in the deck. I have said this once, and I will say this again, Sera is insane. She single-handedly has saved the Traptrix archetype, and you will see Traptrix played again. Simply because if it's a pure build or as an engine, simply because she works with any normal trap card. Honestly, it would not surprise me if you saw some Traptrix Slayer of Darkness builds, simply because Sera is so amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it may not happen, but hey, I'm crazy enough to try something like that out. So keep your eyes out for Lair of Darkness Traptrix on the channel. 1 Mrs. Radiant, you know, pumping up your Earth monsters. I don't really summon her, ever, but she is an option. 1 Naturia Beast, because we are running the glow-up bulb. 1 high-speed Roy Chanbara to basically help push for game. 2 Rafflesia. You can cut Rafflesia down to 1 and put any other rank 4 monster you want. Rafflesia isn't really needed. I've only ever summoned her once, as you can see in the duel replays. More than 1 is not needed. 1 Baguska, simply because if you need to stall out your opponent, that is fine. Sera is unaffected. You can continue to plus off of Sera, basically, even with Baguska on the field. And like I said, 1 Dugaris the Timeless. This card works really well in this deck. Have Sera on the field, get Dionaya, special summon back Mantis or Merm, plus off of that, summon Dugaris, draw 2 cards, discard 1 card. If you discard a Shaddoll, you're getting more bang for your buck. If not, you have 2 more cards to choose from with, you could set yourself up for future plays. You could send another Traptrix monster to the graveyard to get with another Dionaya. You could send Glow-Up Bulb to the graveyard, set up some Naturia Beast plays for later. The possibilities with this card are just really nice. Again, can also help you push for game with by doubling the attack of 1 monster you control, or just help you bring back a Merm or a Mantis or a Dionaya from your grave with its Monster Reborn effect. Now, this video has already gone on quite long enough. This is probably one of the longest videos on this channel, but this deck is just really more of an in-depth deck and more of a deck that requires a lot of explanation. So, if you enjoyed this content, guys, be sure to leave a like, share, and comment down below what you thought of this deck, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are watching this on my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are watching this on Swag King's channel, I hope you consider subscribing. I do duel replays like this. I do card discussions. I am actually going to be uploading a video soon on the new Piece of Evil Eye support, which is amazing, by the way, but that is another topic for another day. If that is something that interests you, be sure to come over to my channel and subscribe. If you guys are watching this on my channel, as I said before, make sure to head over to Swag King's channel. Link will be in the description. Check him out, subscribe to him. He's a great content creator. I highly, highly recommend checking his stuff out. And with that out of the way, remember to ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, guys, this is Dylan the Shaddol Duelist, signing out.